Welcome to the Lounge Lizards podcast. It's so good to have you here. It's a leisure and lifestyle podcast founded on our love of premium cigars, as well as whiskey, travel, food, work, and whatever else we feel like getting into. My name is Gizmo. Tonight I'm joined by Rooster, Senator, and Bam Bam. And our plan is to smoke a cigar, drink some scotch, talk about life, and of course, have some laughs. So take this as your 60th official invitation to join us and become a card-carrying lounge lizard. Plan to meet us here once a week. We're going to smoke a Cuban cigar tonight, share our thoughts on it, and give you our formal lizard rating. We discuss Senator becoming a dad. We light up our first Cuban Limitada. We discuss Rooster selling his cigar tower. And we share our listeners' handcrafted desktop humidors, all among a variety of other things for the next hour. So sit back, get your favorite drink, light up a cigar, and enjoy as we pair 12-year age Glenlivet single malt scotch with the Quai Senadores 2019 Edición Limitada. Our first Limitada on the pod tonight from Cuba, the Quai Senadores out of Cuba. Very cool cigar. We've not had this before. It's a Grand Corona. It's 48 by 6 1/8. And yeah, very excited to smoke this tonight, boys.
It's a good looking cigar.
Beautiful cigar, right?
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
I love the shape.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I mean, obviously it's called Senadores, but it's a very stately, like,
Yep.
I like that it's a little longer. Feels great in the hand.
It's
I'm excited
elegant.
to try it.
It's elegant.
It is.
So we've done a few Quai d'Orsay's. We've done the Coronas Claro, and we've done the QD50. So this is the third QD that we're doing on the pod tonight. And like I said, our first Limitada. But let's cut this thing. See, we're getting on the cold draw on the wrapper.
Yeah, they don't really make a lot of cigars.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, they just make the 50, 54, and the
Coronas Claros.
Coronas Claro.
The one thing and we could talk about this, but I found it odd that they gave Quai d'Orsay a Limitada, which normally you'd see Quai d'Orsay have a regional and they save the Limitadas for like the global brands. But I guess they decided to give this for the French, decided to make an exception and give them an additional Limitada.
Delicious cold draw.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little dried fruit, a little potpourri. Very nice.
Yeah, it is a little floral.
Yeah. I have very high hopes given how we feel about some of the other QD cigars, especially the Coronas Claro. I mean,
Well, that and the 54.
and yeah, you love the 54.
I do love that
Well,
54.
look, we always have to temper our expectations.
Oh yeah.
I say that because we've talked a lot about how the regular production stuff is typically the best.
Yep.
So whenever I have a Limitada or a regional, I have a healthy level of skepticism.
I have an extreme level of skepticism. I'm actually quite anxious about how this $34 Limitada is going to smoke.
You're
tonight.
anxious. This has my namesake on it. I'm anxious.
I know. That's why we're doing it tonight, baby. You're back. All right, boys, let's light this thing. The Quai d'Orsay Senadores limited edition from 2019 from Cuba. Again, it's a Grand Corona, 48 ring gauge by 6 1/8 inch cigar. So very happy tonight, boys, to be back at our clubhouse, 1086 Cigars in Hawthorne, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Always very happy for the hospitality and kindness that they let us record the pod here.
As we say, it's the home away from home.
Love it here. Clean, 24-hour access, key card access. Humidor's filling up. A lot of good stuff happening. So,
Pretty strong flavor on the initial draw.
yeah, I like it on the light.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I won't lie. I remember when this came out, I did read just a few reviews online about this, and I feel like it described it as starting really mild, but there's a good amount of flavor on the light.
Oh, yeah. Right
Pleasantly
off the bat.
surprised.
Now that may mellow out.
Yeah. It is nice, though.
Yeah.
Draw is great too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wide
the draw's wide open. I was actually a little nervous about a couple of them because they felt a little bit heavier than some of the others, but it seems like they're performing okay.
The smoke out, the aroma on the smoke,
Delicious.
it's delicious.
Yeah.
I dare I say a bit citrusy.
Oh boy.
It's really quite nice.
Are you getting any Fundadoris notes out of this too?
Not yet.
It's got like a barnyard.
Why are you back?
bit of-
You were getting off easy for too long. That's why I'm back.
We all were, honestly.
So obviously the name of this cigar is the Senadores, and I've had these for quite some time, preparing for the return of our esteemed colleague here,
Yes, sir.
new proud papa,
That's right.
the Senator. He's back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's good to be back. I don't know what day, what time it is, but I'm here.
Getting any sleep?
Yeah. What's the situation at home?
Sleep deprivation is very real. Luckily, babies are sweet, cute, angelic things, or I think they'd have a really rough go at it because parenting is not easy. But it's been great. It's been great. Everybody says it's the most amazing experience. They couldn't be more right. I'll never forget it. I can't believe I've already been a parent. As long as I have, it feels like it's flown. But yeah, outside of the sleep deprivation, everything else is wonderful.
Ready for another one?
Absolutely not. It's so funny you say that because, you get home, you have this newborn, you're sitting there saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at how sweet. And I feel like within the first week, my wife had said to me, maybe we should at some point talk about another one. And that was not really part of the plan. And I'm sitting there like, oh, please no. And then you fast forward, you go through this honeymoon period where when the baby first arrives, like the baby sleeps nonstop all the time. The poop doesn't smell. Everything's wonderful. And then you get out of this honeymoon period after the first week or two and you're like, nope, one is just right. That's where we are right now.
Well, you know what they say. Plans are always made to be broken.
Yeah.
Not this one.
This cigar is very good on the light.
It's actually still producing a ton of flavor.
And smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
A lot of smoke output on this thing.
Yeah,
It's surprising.
It's got some floral notes, like you said.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of sweet notes.
Yep.
A little, like dark chocolate, maybe.
I'm getting dark chocolate.
I mean, on the wrapper, there was a lot of like the barnyard type.
It has like a, I'm going to combine two things and see if it makes sense. It has a little bit of the Cohiba thing and it has a little bit of twang. Like I almost want to say it has like a Cohiba twang on the tip of my tongue as I push the draw out, as I exhale.
I'm not getting the salty.
I'm getting a little
saltiness.
salt on the tip of my tongue, like a little bit
I
of
can
like
see that.
oomph.
I get a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I could see that.
But it kind of
bit.
has like a Cohiba thing, like a Siglo 2 or a Robusto
I haven't had enough
on
of
the
those to
finish.
know.
A little bit.
I don't know. To me, this is very QD. The things I'm really impressed by is that the flavor profile is richer than any QD I've had. Like I would not describe dark chocolate with the QD 54. I certainly wouldn't with the Coronas Claros. So I like that there's a richer flavor about this.
It's absolutely the most bold QD that I've ever
Yeah,
Oh
had.
yeah.
it
Not-
is.
Yeah,
It is.
very much.
Which I just feel like is not how this cigar is described. That's why this is a real
It's surprising.
contradiction for me. Everything I've read about this cigar describes this as very mild and building to medium, and sure having flavor, but it doesn't sound all that robust. Where there's a good amount of flavor here. I'm really enjoying this right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Yeah, and the aroma out of the smoke is
It's off the
That's really
charts.
nice.
Yeah, it smells really nice.
It
at the
does.
burn line.
Oh yeah.
It's a really nice
It's
aroma.
unusual.
It is. Certainly, this is not even a distant cousin to me
I
of
don't
like the Coronas Claro.
yeah.
It's so different.
I don't think I've had that type of an aroma off smoke of a cigar for a long time. Don't remember.
It's really pleasant.
It is.
I'm sure these are hard to find, right?
Honestly, I think out of all the limitadas out there, I think that this one's probably on the more reasonable end of both price and availability because I see them pop up a lot. They come in a 25 count box. It's like a fancy presentation. It's a limitada, obviously. Some of them don't, but this one does. But I've seen it pop up quite a bit. And you can't just go on a retail site and find it, but a lot of folks have these. I think they made a lot of them.
I mean, I think to your point, you said you were surprised that QD got a limitada.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a smaller brand. It's not there's not as vast a group of consumers that chase QD like there are,
Partagas.
Monty, Partagas, some of the bigger
Upman,
brands,
Cohiba.
Upman,
Yeah.
Cohiba. So I think it works in our favor. If this can hold to the rest of the smoke is as good as it starts. I mean, I would smoke this again.
What I find interesting about it too, obviously it has the edition limitada band on it with the year 2019, which is funny because this is a 2019 release, but the first boxes started appearing sometime in 2020. So that's classic Habanos for you. But also that it is the classic K. Dorsey regular band on it, except it has an additional printing of the word Senadores on it, which is also rare. I mean, for them to actually put the name of the Vitola on the primary band with the Vitola name.
What
With
does
a
this
name
cost?
like that, I can't blame them.
$80.
How much are these each?
$80.
I paid 30. Yeah, you're gonna pay 30. You're gonna pay 80, but I paid 34.
$34.
Yeah.
Not a cheap cigar.
It's not a cheap cigar, but for a limitada, I felt that was decently reasonable given some of these other cigars.
I think
Yeah.
that's actually very good for a limitada. I mean, I think some of us have this. That the Ramon Ionis, the green box, it's also a 2019
torpedoes, right?
limitada.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
expensive.
I have a couple of those boxes. They sell now for $50, $60 a stick.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's about average for a limitada.
Yeah.
$50 and up.
So this is
Yeah.
a bargain.
So I'm saying that
Well,
this is a very
it's
good
a
price.
2019, so some of the older limitadas
More
you'll pay a lot
expensive.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm even saying that Ramon
In
is
the
also
2019,
2019,
yeah.
and I promise you'll never find that now cheaper than $50.
Yeah, this is actually better than the than that Ramon.
Agree.
Dude, this
and
is
I haven't gone back and tried it.
quite
It was-
the cigar tonight.
So far, the thing I'll say about $34 though, to touch on that for one more second, I think for the cigar size, like the actual amount of tobacco in this, I do find for $34, like we're going to get a decent amount of smoke time out of this. And if it performs like it is for this first half an inch, we're going to be in heaven.
the experience is luxurious.
Yeah. Like
And
I'm hitting that thing Puba
Yeah.
talks about with that relaxation. I'm into the rhythm. Like I'm feeling good.
And for me personally, with this cigar, y'all know I smoke very quickly. I can't go through this very fast. It packs a lot of punch for me, and it's pretty special so far.
I think the thing that's nice about this, the smoke is actually a bit creamy,
Mhm.
and it really coats your mouth and
Yeah.
sort of lingers on your
Yeah.
palate. So I think to your point, when you say I'm not going to blow through this cigar, it's because after each draw,
You're satisfied.
You're satisfied. You're
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
so much.
It has a very long finish.
And that's the value.
it's funny you bring up. You said it's only $34 a stick.
yeah.
There's this not funny, but it's a series. There's a commercial, like an ad that comes on TV. You can feed a child for $1 a day.
Oh boy. What are we doing?
Oh boy.
I don't know why it came to my head. I'm like,
Thank you for the perspective. So we're eating a month.
feed a 30
You got to kill his mic.
whole month's feed for a baby.
Oh.
Senator, has your month cost $34?
I wish. Most days don't cost $34.
Kids are expensive, man.
They are.
Oh yeah.
You know what I will say? I'm impressed and surprised, but impressed by how many cigars, when you were kind of staying home, how many cigars, even in the early days, you were able to sneak in and actually get a little bit of,
Senator time.
senator time.
I'll say this:
Little lizarding.
Lizards will always find a way.
We
Oh,
always
you better
lizard.
believe it.
If you can't, honestly, your lizard credentials are probably should be revoked.
Yeah. It's in question.
But the thing is, it's just like anything in life. You have a newborn, and what I quickly figured out is this child sleeps really well during the day and not so great at night. And so all I would do is in the middle of the day when he's out cold, I'd say, all right, I've got a 3-hour window. I'm going to make this count, pour myself a nice drink, get a cigar, sit on the deck, have one. And I mean, it's important to keep yourself sane through all this
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
You're just doing so much. So
I mean, you can
Thank
have a
God.
Churchill every 3 hours. It's like eight cigars.
That's perfect.
24 hours in a day.
That's right. So the 12-year-old we're drinking
Yeah, this Glenlivet's pretty. I mean, listen, it's
for what it is.
it's stock. You know,
It's a table scotch, if you
Yeah.
want to call it that.
yeah, it's what they serve on the airplane.
Any info on that?
On the Glenlivet,
Mhm.
I have zero info on it.
I mean, I think we've done a thing on Glenlivet generally when we did
so
the
we did
Glenlivet
the
18.
we did the 18, which was very good.
Excellent.
But the thing I like about this, I mean, Glenlivet, we've talked about this. Obviously, it's one of the most sold single malt scotches in the world by far. It's number one, I even believe. But for me, it was funny when Giz mentioned we were doing this because Glenlivet 12 was the first single malt that I had tried many years ago, and
That was
what
your
I-
first scotch?
it
Single
was.
malt scotch? Really?
first one.
He was
And-
7.
My child will be 7. And
So Senator Junior should be getting one soon.
Yeah, he already has one.
you all did get a photo of my son trying to crawl toward a Padron cigar box. So I am starting him very early.
Very,
He's a lizard.
very good.
Very early. But with this Scotch, I remember just looking up lighter, smooth single malts to just get an introduction to Scotch. And I think this is still, even to this day, a really good, like if someone were to ask me, what's a first single malt I should try? And they're not going to dive into the deep end and, I'm
Right.
not going to pour them Lagavulin or something like that, or even Oban at first.
Yeah.
And I think it's light, but
It's
has
affordable.
just enough body. Like
It's-
you said,
it's not
great,
expensive.
great price point.
Yep.
And
I think I paid under 40 for it.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sure.
That's the
Or,
beauty of the
yeah,
12.
early, low 30s.
yeah, should be like low 30s.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about it is it also has some unique flavors that I actually think no other single malt does. And I remember vividly, this actually doesn't have it as much. So I think Glenlivet 12, that it's changed a little bit over time. But at the time, I thought I was nuts. And I looked this up, and it's a prominent tasting note that a bunch of people get. I would always get notes of pineapple out of Glenlivet 12.
Yeah. Fruit. I get a lot of general fruit.
You
yeah.
do. The pineapple piece, though, was so pronounced. And I thought I was crazy. I said, there's no way that Scotch is supposed to have a pineapple note in it. And when you look it up, it's literally part of like their flavor, wheel.
Like they say pineapple?
They say,
oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And I always found that to be very unique. And so for me, especially in the summer, even the spring, early fall-ish, when it's still not too cold, that's worked extremely well. But I think even year round, the utility Glenlivet 12 has for me, I think American Airlines just used to be like their kind of standard
That's
single
right.
malt.
A lot of airlines, actually.
Well, used to. Now they've cut cost, and now it's like Dewar's, it's Johnny Walker.
United
it's all
has Glen
blended.
Farkas.
There you
Oh,
go.
boy.
Right?
It's a single malt.
It is, but I'm
It's
sorry.
not
Like
great.
the thing I like about this, of these kind of really accessible single malts that you would find on a plane or a train, for me, I would drink Glenlivet 12 over Dewar's White Label, a Chivas,
100%.
really any of those. So
100%,
I
yeah.
wish it would be on more of these, honestly.
Yeah. Have you guys done the Glenfiddich?
Yeah.
we did.
We did. Yeah.
Which 14?
I don't remember.
15.
It was the 15.
15.
I think.
15.
Yeah.
The green box, right?
It's like a purplish
Purple.
color.
Okay.
Getting to the serviceability of this Scotch. So I've mentioned our big cigar blowouts that we have in town
That's right. This is the one, right?
every year. One's potentially coming up in the spring.
Yep.
And this is what we serve, but we buy the big Magnum bottles of the 12. It goes quickly. It's very affordable, but it's excellent quality for a large group of people.
Yeah. So people that drink scotch all the time
Yeah.
aren't going to complain.
They'll be
And
impressed
people
by
that,
it.
that drink single, blended or Johnny
Exactly.
or whatever,
Exactly right.
it's going to be perfectly fine.
Never fails.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good for what it is. I got to say, it's
Exactly.
very satisfying.
And for a 12-year, I think this is one of the smoothest 12 years that you really can buy.
Honestly, the Belvini 12, there's a little harshness to it on
There
the
is a
front.
little bite.
Yeah.
On the front, not here with this guy.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very smooth.
And-
To me, it tastes like a blended whiskey.
A lot
Yeah.
less expensive as well.
So it's the same price as the cigar.
The whole bottle.
The
though.
whole bottle.
Whole
It's
bottle.
true. It's true.
Exactly.
We're spoiled.
I also really like this pairing
Yeah.
because there's so much I'm liking about this cigar. The Scotch is never fighting with it for attention or even trying to
perfect
take
compliment.
the lead. Exactly. It just complements it perfectly.
Agreed.
And I think that the fruit forward thing that you mentioned, or the fruitiness of it, is matching with the flavor profile of the cigar,
There is
especially
yeah.
in the finish of the cigar and how long that lingers in your mouth when you take a sip. They're not clashing at all.
There is a bit of that in this.
There
which
is.
which is a nice compliment.
I'm really shocked how much I'm enjoying this cigar. I really did not expect to enjoy this much.
We're an inch in, and it's getting better for me.
I agree.
Like
It's a complex, unique cigar. It's very good.
The smoke, it's just velvety.
Yeah.
Each draw, I can't believe how much I'm enjoying.
And it's like, it bums me out that I've had other limitadas that have been disappointing. I know that Rooster has also had some that, like, regionals are very hit or miss. And the other thing too is the price point is so prohibitive. I mean, I bought a box of Partagas limitadas. I think they were 2014s. They were like Gran Coronas, almost like this, I believe, or Corona Extra or something. And they were 75 a piece. They had a lot more age on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 65.
65. And they're smoking great. But I think
You had one the other day.
I
Right?
did
How
about
was
2
it?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was really good. A lot of oomph, and it's still a lot of. I mean, it's a 2015 box date cigar.
Yeah.
2014 label on it. Man, it had a lot of power.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that's a cigar
got
that in
some
10
strength.
years is still gonna. It has a lot of aging, potential left. So I guess I'll hold on to them and see how they do. But
These are 2 years old,
these are 2.5 years old.
2.5 years old.
Yeah.
I can imagine they'll get better and better.
I would think so.
Yeah.
But remarkably, they're already so
They're very
smooth.
good. They
This
are
is
very good.
smooth
Yeah,
and
there's
creamy.
no harshness. There's
Like if you would have told me that this has 4 or 5 years of age on it, I would believe that.
Well, it kind of does because all the limitadas they use 2 years aged
That's true.
tobaccos.
so that has a
So
2-year
it's
head
about
start.
It's about
And
5
that
years.
I mean, this is what that smokes like. It
But-
smokes like a 4 or 5 year
4 or
age.
5.
But
Cuban.
also, I don't believe a word Habano says.
Yeah.
That
so
you're
they claim-
really telling me that they put this specific bunch of tobacco. I don't believe that for a second. I mean, just like the Anahados line. I mean, they say it's aged. They don't describe anything about how much age. Different ones have different age. They're a mess. So that is true, but I go off the
such a
box.
cynic. Where's this coming from? What
I
has
wonder
given
why.
you? What
I
has
mean,
given you
we
reason to
haven't.
question?
I don't know.
this
We
stuff?
haven't blasted them on the pod every Cuban episode for the past year.
I mean, the labels are always printed correctly. What are you so upset about?
Box
I
codes.
love how hot Puba gets about the spelling of connoisseur. The connoisseur's misspelling. It's amazing. Habanos being Habanos.
I just love that. It's one thing when it happens and they make the decision that it's just they don't want to spend the money to fix it. The fact that after all that production run is done, that they all these years
They
later,
just click reorder.
they just say, you know what? For the next 20, 40 years, we're going to call it connoisseur spelled incorrectly. I have
They
no
can't
idea.
spell.
The retro hail on this is fantastic.
I have to push it. I haven't
Oh.
retrohaled.
I think it's very good. Salty, a little Cuban twang for me.
I like the twang
Oh,
thing
yeah.
you mentioned.
It's like a Cohiba twang. It's
on
not
the
a Monty
retro,
twang
yeah.
to me.
Yeah. I mean, now I get that.
You're getting
But it's
it.
not like a
not
Monty
at the
2.
beginning. Yeah.
It's a little different than like that Monty 2 thing.
Totally different.
But
I
it's
think.
still the Cuban twangy
Yeah,
thing,
in its own way.
Yeah.
Wow, a limited smoking this well, and worth the money so far.
Yeah. Now, would I be happy if this was 80 or $100?
No.
I'd probably feel the same about the cigar and experience, but certainly the value would evaporate, which I think that it's standing up right next to any other limitada I've had. It's doing well so far.
What other limitadas have you enjoyed
I've had quite a few. So I've had
that
I
were
didn't have-
actually good?
no, that's
That's the question.
if good and worth the money. It's very few. Now Rooster's had way more than I have.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that.
What's good and worth the money compared to this guy?
One of the better limitadas is the Ramon Ayones 2011.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that green and white old school
Oh.
band on it.
I have never tried that.
That's
I
really-
love that bit. I've actually had that cigar.
You've never given
did?
us one,
I
Rooster.
did. I did have
Yeah, I
that
haven't
cigar.
had
Where
it.
did you have that?
I got that cigar. It has the square white label on it with the green, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Very
did have
cool.
one of those. I think I may have gotten it as a bodyguard from someone.
I see.
Rooster, that one's worth sharing.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Someone has their hand out.
Oh, it's right out.
And also the Partagas Edición Limitada, the 2010.
Ah,
That's really good.
You know, one other you didn't mention? I think we both had this. It's an Upman, I think 2011, that really dark wrapper.
Propios.
Propios.
oh yeah, the
That was
Propios I've
good.
had. That's a
Yeah,
good
that was
cigar.
good.
It's a short cigar.
Yeah.
But powerful.
Powerful. Yeah.
I would argue, I mean, at least of Cubans I've tried, that was the strongest Cuban I've ever had.
Wow.
To me, it's the Partagas, the 2010.
Is that not all,
Limitada.
at least in your top 5 of strong? I mean,
Oh yeah.
it
most
smokes like a New World cigar.
Dude, the
It's
2014 that I
remarkable.
was just talking about, the
Yeah.
Partagas, it kicked my ass a little bit.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I was surprised because I'm thinking, it's going to be like a D, a letter series or maybe a Lucy or an 898. It was far stronger than any of those.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. This is getting better. I'm starting to get very faint hints of barnyard, which I happen to love in a cigar. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very faint.
I like faint hints of barnyard. I don't like a lot of barnyard in a cigar. We've been through, I think, some of my smells like a dirty like horse barn thing. We want like the clean barn is what we're going for, which I think this has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the horses haven't moved in yet. It's just fresh.
Exactly.
Yes. There's hay in the there's hay.
There's like
Big
some
difference.
Yeah, there's a hay, there's some sawdust on the ground.
It's hard to explain. That may not be the right terminology, but
No, it is. It
I
is.
think that's
I'm
the
just
right-
saying
there
though
is
that
barnyard.
it's like light barnyard, not
It's
like
developing.
aggressive.
There's actually
Like
notes of hay that you get too.
yeah,
but it's not off-putting. It's developing in this whole envelope of sweetness with the
It's a
these
nice
notes.
combination of
it's
hay
great.
and barnyard and chocolate and
I'm
like
also
dark chocolate.
Yeah.
as I'm smoking this further along, I'm getting a little baking spice now, which I really like.
Mm.
The chocolate I'm getting, without a doubt.
I'm definitely getting more of that, the barnyard kind of hay
Coming in,
thing.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get any spice?
A little bit.
Pepper?
I don't know if I'd call it baking spice yet.
And I wouldn't call it spice in the pepper, the spicy yet.
I don't mean like spicy pepper. I mean like nutmeg,
Baking
like
spice.
baking spice.
It's really nice.
Uh,
I'm trying to think of a cigar.
I'm shocked.
It's funny. This is the first time I've had this cigar, but it's reminding my palate of another cigar that I've had, and I can't put my finger on it. Like it's reminding me very specifically of another Habanos another Cuban cigar I've had.
HTC maybe,
I don't know. I just can't put my finger on what it is.
and maybe a Magnum 54. I get slight reminiscence of that. Maybe I don't know. Very slight.
Speaking of Magnum, I got a question for you guys. So I was having one of my Magnum 46s the other day, and I'd actually been dry boxing it. I actually left it in the box probably 2-3 days. So it was definitely not a humidity condition. I'm curious if you guys ever experienced this. So I'm smoking the cigar. It's smoking brilliantly. It's one of the best Mag 46s I've ever had. And we've all had a lot. I've had a ton. I love them. I smoke a ton.
That's your go-to stick?
That's one of my go-tos. I really love it. And I'm smoking it, and about kind of where we're at now, kind of like a little bit into the second third, end of the first third, the cigar just starts smoking dead. Like I can't get this thing to smoke. I'm lighting it. So I eventually took my perfect draw, and I knocked off what this chunk, which was like a 3/4 of an inch chunk of the cigar that was just rock hard, would not do anything. Knocked it off, lit the cigar up, and the rest of the cigar smoked brilliantly.
Yeah, you get
Have
chunks.
you ever
chunks of the
experienced
vein
that?
of the leaf itself that build up maybe once or twice.
That's a good theory. I was thinking it was like a tar buildup or something. It was almost like it was cement.
You mean
I knocked it off.
The ash?
Yeah,
was
the
like
ash. I
cement?
knocked a piece of ash off that I could not get it to relight. And I knocked it off, and then I relit the cigar, and it smoked
Wow.
as if nothing ever happened.
That's odd.
It was like a dead spot in the cigar. And
Sorry,
I've never
you said you
experienced it.
knocked ash off, but you used the perfect draw.
Yeah, I took the perfect draw just to like
Oh,
smack
okay,
it
so
off.
you didn't put the perfect draw.
No, I
through.
didn't perfect
Okay,
draw the
gotcha.
cigar. I used that as the tool to get the ash
Got you.
off the cigar,
Nice.
and it smoked brilliantly after that.
It's probably a fake box.
Not my first one.
Yeah.
No, but it's a legit box, and the cigars smoke great, and all the other cigars have. But I've never experienced that before in
That's
any
funky.
cigar.
I've never had a bad Magnum 46 ever.
It was
Not
great.
ever.
Other than that little piece of it, just would not smoke.
Yeah, I mean, when they roll the cigars, the vein is like in it, right?
Yeah.
So you can get that hard.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's odd that it was like that hard, like cement type.
Yeah, I
almost.
couldn't get it off. Like I was knocking it on the ashtray, it would not come off. I quite literally pushed it off with the perfect draw, and it was lit it, and we're good.
Regarding availability, I'm going to start looking into these to see how easy they are to find. I would buy a box of these.
I think you'll see them
We'll
come
see.
up.
Please do. I get it.
Oh God!
My head just hangs in disappointment. I gotta.
I'm in for a $5 bet.
I gotta look away.
When you
I gotta
go.
look away.
Let me know.
Look, in the year 2046, these are going to smoke amazing.
They're gonna
guys.
smoke
When
great.
Bam finds them.
Why
they're
did
gonna
I?
be great.
Why? Okay, turn my mic off.
How's
It's
your
just gonna be Senator and I when we're done. Here.
how's your tower doing?
My tower's good.
Is it up?
It's in
Loaded?
the house.
And
Well,
It's
we know it's been there.
It's seasoned. It's just sitting there for a couple of weeks.
oh, for what?
What do you mean?
Is it? You have cigars in it?
Not yet. No.
Oh,
I like to season it and let it sit for a while. Then I'll put the Oasis in and start loading up. Hopefully in about a week.
You're supposed to season it with the Oasis for the
Yeah.
record.
I was going to say that.
I don't know.
I love that you don't call us and you just do this in secret because
The
you're
whole
afraid
point of season
because
is to
I'm
get it
ashamed.
to hold and regulate the humidity. You need that in there.
Well, okay, I'll get it in tonight.
Yeah, okay. I think there's a better chance we get a box of Senadores than that thing going in tonight.
You're making me sweat. Let's move on.
I can't wait to tell my son that Bam is sourcing him a box of Senadores that he'll smoke 20
When
years
he's
from now.
19.
Yeah, I was going to say when
I'll
he's
have a
20.
set of-
He's 20 years old.
Hey, Will, come over. Get away from your dad.
Careful what you wish for.
I know.
I've got a new babysitter. His name is Bam Bam.
Uh-oh. Remember.
You could do some
8 to 12.
homeschooling.
Right.
You could do some homeschooling.
Witching hours.
true.
You could teach them a few things.
Oh, yeah. BAM approved activities.
We've detailed those on the pod.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about it yet on the pod, but did you guys see Brady and Giselle are kaput?
Wow.
You know, I saw a theory for the first time the other day and it made sense to me that he retired to save his marriage, realized he wasn't going to be able to save his marriage, and then went back to football.
Now, hold on.
That's the first time I heard that theory.
I thought
Just-
the reason why he's getting
Yeah.
divorced is because
He went back to
he
football.
went back to football.
I mean,
Like,
that's
she
the
didn't-
logical
everybody's
one.
she didn't
assuming.
want him
But
to go back. I mean,
I-
we don't know the
that's logical. That's what I thought. But hearing Gizmo say that, I actually think that there may be something there.
Mhm.
I just say that because this is a man.
You think he did it in spite?
No. I just
No.
think that
Like
maybe
she
it
didn't want
wasn't
him to go
fixable.
back, and he did.
I think
No.
he realized like he couldn't. Maybe I'm
Couldn't save the
already
marriage. That's a
buying
great theory,
Gizmo's
right?
theory. Like
That's not
He
my theory. I
realized-
saw it somewhere.
whoever came up with it, but he thought, okay, I can't fix this. So what else do I have in my life? Football. I may as well go back to it.
Because
while
she's
I
going to
still
take the
can.
kids,
Great
obviously.
point. Great
But
point.
But the reason I'm starting to buy that is just you think this is a guy who has achieved every level of success you can in professional football, period. There's nothing he has left to prove.
Yeah.
He's
Never-
won
it will never be
MVPs.
equaled.
He's won Super
7
Bowls.
championships.
I mean, he's done everything. So it was so crazy to me when he came back. It was clear his wife has been saying for years he needs to retire and she expects him to be, a present father with that family. And when he came back, I'm like, why would you possibly be risking losing that to play a sport and win something? You've already achieved all these things in.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
Maybe it was
That
already done.
would make
this
sense.
theory makes sense.
It
Now,
does.
here's the other thing that kind of solidifies this theory in my mind is that it was like a month after he retired that he returned. It wasn't like most guys, if they're coming back, Gronk, Edelman, those guys, they'll wait till closer to the season so they don't have to deal with training camp and everything else. He retired, I think, in February, and he was back in March or something.
But didn't he miss a couple of games this year? Like he didn't come back right away.
Not games. So during the offseason,
Yeah.
he missed
Practice.
training camp
Practice,
Yeah.
yeah.
for a significant period of
That's
time
pretty
to
normal
deal
for a
with
vet, though.
family issues.
No, but for a QB, you know what I heard? I heard that he was doing that masked.
That
masked
wasn't
singer.
true.
That wasn't true.
No.
The what?
There was a big rumor that he was doing that
Yes.
Fox show, The Masked Singer.
Oh, boy.
There's like this big Reddit thing. It's like,
It was actually a theory.
there's no way he would do that.
Oh, he hasn't accomplished that. I guess that would
Well, you know
what?
You know what else he hasn't accomplished? He has not beaten the Giants in a Super Bowl.
That's
oh, that's
right.
right.
Thank you,
So-
Rooster.
Proud
he
Giants
hasn't
fans.
done everything.
Take it easy.
He never will.
I don't know. He won't.
Philly sucks.
Yeah, so I found that theory to be very interesting
Mhm.
It is. It's
It
the
makes
first
the
I'm
most
hearing
sense.
of this. It's finally starting to
because
connect
if he
with me.
didn't have football, he couldn't start broadcasting. I think actually he was supposed to start broadcasting this year, but I think they punted that down the way to when he retires. But maybe it just wasn't fixable.
Didn't she have a Brady jersey on in social media and like supporting him?
Yeah, but
No,
I mean
she's
that's
out.
that's PR.
She's been photographed out without her wedding ring now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Has she been seen with anybody? Or
No, they're smarter than that. She's worth $500 million.
On her own.
So he'll get more.
Yeah, he may get spousal support.
It's burning a little weird.
Mm.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mine's burned great.
Yours is razor sharp.
Yeah, mine's perfect. I
When
haven't
you
touched it.
when you ash, you'll find that it's a little jagged.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not a detriment at all.
Well, I'm sure
'Cause
he's
it's
ashed.
so-
You haven't ashed it?
I have.
Oh, you have.
I ashed once.
Wow,
It was
look at you.
perfect. It was
Yeah.
straight through.
Can I bridge the gap for a quick second?
Sure.
Or bring these topics together. We were talking about children. Now we're talking about Brady. Something that's very odd to me, and I don't know, everyone's actually a parent here, so I'm just curious. Tom Brady kisses all of his children on the mouth. And I find it very odd. Am I alone in this? Is
Not
this
at
like
all.
a
Are you
normal thing?
alone? It's weird.
Okay.
No, but
Would you kiss your son on his lips? I think that's extremely
I
odd.
think my son would punch me in the face if I kissed him on the lips. There's no doubt about it.
Like, why does he do this?
I've seen Italian families are a little bit more kind of
When they're little,
the guys
maybe.
and stuff, but to me, I'm like not even my mom. I don't even kiss my mom on the lips. It's always a cheek.
Right.
Never.
Right.
The only person I kiss on the lips is Mrs. Gizmo.
That's right.
Same.
And
I
Bam
don't know why
Bam
you
from time to time.
Now that you
Come over here.
No, from time to time, Bam.
Jill's family, they do sometimes kiss on the,
Interesting.
but immediate, like sister.
That I can see.
I could see that. I
But
just think it's really odd
your
for
son
like an
or-
adult male to
Yeah.
kiss his son on the lips. I think it's
and his
weird.
son's not young. I mean, he's his
No.
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
No,
odd.
it's strange.
I don't know.
Maybe
I've seen Italians. Sometimes, like I'll see Italians that I'm kind of like acquaintances with,
Mhm.
like older Italian ladies, and they come. I mean, like a missile. They're coming straight onto the lips.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's like take it easy. Like I haven't.
Tongue and all.
Hold on, I'll be back. I got to get the salad, and I'm out.
Yeah, I avoid it like the plague,
Oh
but
yeah.
not for me.
If you ever need someone to talk to, we're here for you.
Thank you, guys. We'll do a bonus episode. Gizmo therapy.
So this thing has gotten creamier, smoother. It's still delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, are you a little bit ahead of me? I'm
A bit.
I'm a little under halfway through.
Yeah. I think I'm ahead of all of you now. It's really settled
I'm
in
not
nicely.
even. I don't even think I'm halfway yet.
Yeah. Beautiful cigar.
It's a medium smoke. It's not mild.
Where would you slot this in? Let's say we're doing it,
Yeah. I mean, if I had more than I do, which I don't have any after tonight,
You have one.
I have one left, but I would probably slot this in maybe cigar number 2. I don't think I'd open with it. I'd probably slot this in the middle. Now, if I was, now we always talk about this. I think this is kind of a litmus test for us as far as where a cigar stands up. But if I have that steak dinner on Saturday night and I can have one cigar, I'm happy to reach for this as of right now.
You know what? It could be a candidate for a one and done cigar because it's so satisfying.
As of right
Potentially.
now, like I'm not feeling, sometimes when we smoke a cigar we're not loving, I'm saying I can't wait to have another one that's going to scratch that itch. I don't feel like that right now. I feel like this is doing it.
Yeah.
The thing I like most about this, as I think about where I would slot this in, this is really versatile to me. I think my favorite cigars are all pretty versatile. The D4, I wake up with it sometimes, have in the afternoon, have in the evening. It works at any point. This cigar, honestly, I can't think of a bad occasion to smoke this. I truly think, like, I'm not sure that I'd wake up to this, but if I really needed a cigar with flavor, but that's not going to kick me around and it's going to be really smooth, I could have this in the morning. Certainly in the afternoon and in the evening, I can't think of a bad time for it. So this is why I would pick this stick up again, because it slots in so many places for me.
It does. I probably would not have this in the morning, but late afternoon, evening, it's an elegant, really robust stick.
To me, I feel like to your point about time of day, I think that to me, this demands your attention. I think this is not an afternoon casual smoke for me. I'm going to put it later in the day.
You
It could
could
be
have
late.
a QD day.
Yeah, you could do a QD day.
You
It actually
really
would
could
work with
start
this.
It's a
like
great-
QD 50.
Oh, yeah.
Have a Coronas Claro in the afternoon.
Yep.
And late afternoon a 54 and end with the
That
Senadores.
See, now that is lizard thinking.
That
boys.
is-
that
I
is
love
lizard
that.
thinking right there.
I fucking love that.
Can we pick up on that a little bit? So I have recently been smoking a lot of QD 50s in the morning.
Really?
I have found that to be one of the most satisfying morning smokes I've ever had.
I could see it.
And I'm not a huge QD guy. You know, I found the Coronas Claros through this group, the QD 54. That's pretty much all I smoked. The 50, and it's funny because I remember the first box I got, they were a little harsh at first. I wasn't crazy about them, so I just tucked them away in the back. And then a while later realized I had them and I started smoking them. And man, just, I don't know, maybe it was 6 or 8 months they sat in my humidor. Completely different cigar. They got creamy but flavorful, perfect morning cigar. That little size. Oh my gosh, I love that cigar.
Now, you know what's funny about you saying this? We smoked that cigar. I don't love that cigar, but it is interesting thinking about it now in relation to the other QDs, and this being certainly the most full QD that we've had. I think the QD50 might be a very good candidate for that early.
Try the QD50 as a breakfast cigar with a cup of coffee.
Yes.
It's good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I don't think it served the purpose when we did smoke that cigar on the pod.
We didn't do the 50.
Yeah, we did.
Did the 50 or
We
the
did,
54?
we did the 54.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Hold on one second. Am
We
I being a dumbass?
definitely never did the 50 on this.
I think you're right.
I think we did.
Yeah,
the
we did
54.
You're right. We did do the 54. I'm sorry. Because I've had the 50 because Basketball John loves the QD50. Obsessed with it. And I've had it, but it kind of doesn't check all the boxes. But I'm always having it late at night after dinner.
Oh, yeah. I would
among other
never have
cigars.
it. So when I can't stress enough, I have exclusively smoked that cigar in the morning. There's no other occasion I would smoke that cigar. It'd have to be early afternoon for it to be an afternoon smoke, but that's it. But it's perfect.
54 has a little bit more
Kick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
strength.
And that's one of my favorite cigars. I do love that stick.
I go back to it. I just don't love the ring gauge of that cigar.
Yeah,
I like the flavor,
You're
but
moving away from that.
I'm totally.
Yep.
I mean, I got my E2s. I moved those.
Yep.
I
I took a box from you, I think. Yeah.
I just don't love the 54 ring gauge, 55 ring gauge. I don't know why. This is very satisfying.
This is great.
Like I feel the vibe of the room. Like I think we're all kind of in lockstep that
It's ridiculous.
this is really good.
how good this is.
Yeah. Now, you know what's interesting? I saw some folks on the Facebook groups totally poo-pooing this cigar. And I was a little anxious coming in tonight. Like, uh-oh, here we go on a Limitada. We're going to blast another.
Care to name names?
And we're going to blast another, high-end Habanos. But this is pretty damn good.
Look, for what you paid, I think it's kind of worth it at that price point.
Yes.
Anything above that, I think the ROI factor is kind of won't be there. Like anything over like 45, 50. When you get into that, like typical Limitadas
Yeah.
with some
it's
age.
Some of them are 50, 100, 150 bucks.
bucks. Yeah. 70 bucks, 100 bucks. I mean, then it gets a little insane, and then you don't get the satisfaction out of that.
I got a question for you guys. So we got the holidays coming up, right? Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff.
Yep.
Is this cigar special enough to find its way into
A holiday
a
routine?
holiday rotation for you?
I think so.
I think so for
Yeah.
sure.
No doubt.
And the
That's
reason
and that's a compliment from this group because I certainly know the cigars I'm going to be pulling for.
Oh, yeah. They
Those-
have to be special. They're
yeah.
special
Yeah,
cigars.
yeah.
they have to be special, but it goes back to when I describe this as so versatile. The reason, especially for the holidays, that this has utility for me, when it's the holidays, you're around family, you're seeing friends. It's a very social occasion. So it's harder to find sticks that not just I'm going to enjoy, but that I can have other people enjoy that maybe don't smoke as often as I do, but also really enjoy cigars.
So you're going to hand these out?
I would not.
No,
hand these
I
out.
wouldn't hand them to
I was thinking the same thing.
No, but just hang on. Hear me out. I wouldn't hand them out to a large group. But if you're sitting there having a cigar with your father, your brother, someone
That's
close
different.
to you,
Yeah.
that it's a nice occasion when you're able to sit down and share a cigar, and maybe, they're not going to smoke a Padron 90th with Rooster. That's going to be too aggressive for them. But something that you'll be able to appreciate, and they will,
Yeah.
as someone who doesn't smoke as many cigars as we do, I think this is a great candidate for that.
I agree. I'm actually jealous that you and Giz still have your dads around. Those are special moments. And when you find the cigar that you can share with your dad or relative or anyone that you're tight with family-wise, it doesn't get any better than that.
I'll double down on your envy. Obviously, I'm lucky that I still have my dad,
Yeah.
and Senator does as well. My
Yep.
dad doesn't smoke cigars, so that for us has been more whiskeys and wine.
Oh, that's
But-
okay.
so I'll have a cigar.
Yeah.
But he won't. But we'll celebrate the spirit together.
Absolutely.
It works really
Just
well.
blow the
And it
smoke with
works
his
well.
face. This is a Senadores, by the way.
What do you think?
What notes are you getting? But you're also lucky your father-in-law smokes cigars. So
yes,
you do have
exactly.
that.
My
That's
father-in-law. Yeah,
That's
my,
exactly right.
My
There you go.
father-in-law
And he
is.
smokes milder cigars.
Yes, he
smokes-
does.
So the QD50 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a great Christmas gift.
He would love that.
I hope he's not listening.
Love it.
I think I may do that for his Christmas.
Great
gift.
idea.
Get him a box of QD50s.
Great idea.
I mean,
Because he
there's
likes that
nobody-
kind of short. I guess it's a Robusto-ish.
But it's a short
It's a short Robusto. What is it, like 4.5, 5 inches long.
4.5.
Yeah,
so he'll be very
beautiful
happy
shape.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nobody in my family I would be handing these out to.
Nor mine.
I'll give him the Tatuai Cazadores. Here you go.
That's a good cigar, though.
It is a good cigar.
And then they'll look at you. Hey, why are you smoking a different cigar?
No, I'll put the gold band on their cigar. Put
There you
the
go.
Well,
Limitada band on
Don't
it.
say that. You could always light this up with your daughter's boyfriend.
That's right.
He got you some chocolate cigars for the holidays.
That's true.
That's
yeah, he's actually very generous.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
He better be.
He just bought my daughter some AirPods.
Ah,
Nice.
I'm like, all right,
I like that. That's one less thing you had to buy.
Well,
Yeah, well, I have already bought her 2 pairs that she's lost. so-
little
No,
does he
this
know
is the
he's going to
third.
be buying her 2 more pairs.
yeah. Honestly, he's a very lucky young man.
Yeah,
You've got great daughters.
It's
thank
true.
You do.
Thank
You do.
It's true. They take after the rooster.
Mm-hmm.
Very hospitable.
Very kind.
very kind.
Yep.
Great
Thank you.
kids.
They've
They're
got
good
that.
And we know
kids. They're
you
good
had nothing to
kids.
do with that, but we'll give you the kudos.
They have
They
that
are-
calm.
Yeah, they actually let the raccoons live.
They feed the raccoons.
The older one has that calm.
Yes.
Don't fuck with me demeanor.
Oh yeah.
Just like Rooster.
They're good kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we're halfway through this thing, boys. I'm loving it. I just pulled the Limitada band off.
I'm going there now.
I'm kind of having that feeling like, man, I don't want this to end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm really enjoying it.
You know, now that you mentioned about the Upman Limitada Propios, it might have some similarities with this cigar. I mean, I know it had more strength.
The dark
I'll have
chocolate.
to- yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and kind of revisit that.
But you know, it was also a smaller ring gauge, so you're getting more
Yeah.
oomph out of the wrapper
That's
if
true.
it is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were 2018s, I think.
Yeah, they were 2018s. So this cigar, I think Rooster mentioned it, but it was officially previewed during a dinner in Paris in September 2019. And it was the first, like we said, it's the first Limitada that Quai d'Orsay's ever had. And we mentioned that, you know, the Limitadas are usually reserved for the global brands, the big brands, the 6. And the regional releases are reserved for smaller markets like Quai d'Orsay, Ramon Ionis, and some of the others. But they made an exception, I guess, for Quai d'Orsay and their French roots to release a Limitada specific for QD for the French market. So that's where these cigars started showing up. So this was directed pretty much at France to celebrate
This guy?
Yeah,
Really?
this specific cigar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No,
So
I gotta say, I'm glad they did, and I'm also just surprised because this goes back to, I think, when we reviewed the QD54, I had said, and I think a number of guys agreed, you know, a cigar that was made for the French market. The French market is not one that is looking for incredibly bold or flavorful cigars, right? They're looking for milder sticks. And I always assumed that all QDs would be extremely mild and would not satisfy my palate. And this defies, you know, what you would expect in a really
Absolutely.
nice way.
No doubt. They're also typically going for smaller Vitolas, no?
yeah,
Oh
The European market overall.
Yeah,
Yep.
but they have the 50 and the 54.
Yeah.
It's true.
Those are
Which
not
makes
small.
no sense.
Which
is
only-
not.
It's not.
and which don't forget when we did the QD54 episode, those cigars were only released. They did the complete overhaul of QD
Right.
in I think 2016,
That
2017.
recent?
So those cigars didn't even exist. The only one that still exists from the old days is the Coronas Claro, which
Wow.
is, I think, a very different cigar than it was long ago.
Yeah.
But the whole line was revamped in 17. New
Yeah.
bands, new
I think
everything.
1970s was like the first time that QD actually was made by Cuba Tobacco for France
I see.
because they didn't have anything. And that was introduced at that time. And then it was completely revamped in 2017.
Yeah, so pretty cool story here. Definitely one of the better Limitadas I've had so far.
Agreed.
Very satisfying, and I can't get over the value at $34. You know,
We're 2 for 2 on Senador cigars. I have to say it.
Weren't we waiting for that comment to come out?
Well, I'll be honest. I was nervous when we started this because, I mean, I had low expectations for the EP Carrillo El Senador we did, and that definitely exceeded expectations.
That blew our
That was
doors off.
amazing.
I mean,
it was
I bought it.
Especially
We bought boxes.
boxes. I
Awesome
mean,
cigar.
at the
I don't
price
do that a
point,
lot.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this, I was worried because I said, it's a limitada. It's QD, which is on the milder end of the spectrum. But man, I'm really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Typically when you get a cigar with this kind of a wrapper, like I love that reddish brown color.
Yeah.
A bit
And
rustic.
it's-
A bit rustic.
Bit rustic,
Yeah.
but just the color wise, it's
Yeah.
very similar to that Partagas Limitada.
It is.
Mhm.
The color wise,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I look for that. Like that, I know like it's gonna be a good cigar. Right.
So what
I see
is
that.
it? Just your experience with them? Is it just you kind of gravitate towards that? Like what is it? Why is that such a tell?
More than the color, when I smell a box of cigars, I can kind of tell like what if the cigar is going to be good or not. Like a lot has to do with that smell on the wrapper, because you get so much aroma out of that.
Sure.
And same thing with this. I mean, the aroma out of this wrapper on the burn line,
It's
if you smell
fantastic.
it, it's
It's
awesome.
amazing.
The smoke is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is still burning brilliantly, by the way.
Same.
Perfectly.
Same.
That's one thing. It's funny. So the only thing I've had to touch this up. I think I've seen Rooster's had to touch his up, but the ash itself has been really neatly packed.
Yeah.
And it has burned evenly, even though I've had to touch up along the way. So overall, I would still say the construction is pretty good.
Yeah. The structure of the ash is really strong. Yeah.
I also really love the shape.
Me too.
I wish there were more cigars.
I know.
This exact shape.
Yeah, it's a great size.
Yeah. Great
Especially
ring
if
gauge.
you're gonna do just one cigar. I think it's kind
The
of
name of the Vitola again is what?
Grand Corona.
It's a Gran Corona.
Gran Corona.
Habanos has a like a classic name for it.
Any other Gran Coronas in different
Yeah,
marcas?
there are a couple.
Yeah.
Monte Cristo, I think, has one.
Okay.
I can tell you right now. So this specific cigar, like we said, is a Gran Corona, but they call it in the factory name for the Vitola is a Hermosos number 2.
Okay.
So other Hermosos number 2, there was a Bolivar regional in 11, and a bunch of limitadas and a regional for Juan Lopez in 08. And like we said, Partagas and Romeo have limitadas. Those are the only 5 cigars. There are no regular production cigars in this specific Vitola.
Right.
As far as Grand Coronas go, there are more. So the Sigil 4 by Cohiba is technically a Grand Corona. There are some other canceled cigars, obviously.
But there were only 3 limitadas that were introduced in 2019.
Yep.
Mm.
The Ramon was one,
One
obviously.
was this. The other one was the Ramona Jonas,
Mhm.
and then the third one was the Monte Cristo Supremos.
Cool.
which
Have you heard
is-
good things about that cigar?
Supremos?
Yeah.
Mixed.
I've heard mixed about this one, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, this is
So the Mag 46, by the way, is technically a Grand Corona. It's a Corona Scorda 46 ring gauge, but it's still
I
classified.
love that shape.
Anything Corona, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Honestly, that Juan Lopez number 1, the shape of that's beautiful.
I love that.
Right?
That's one of my favorite
It
cigars.
holds
The
beautifully.
Juan Lopez number 1.
Dude, if
Most
it's
definitely.
when it's on, that is a fantastic smoke.
Yeah. It's
Great with
it's
coffee.
fruity,
Great. Yeah.
floral
Yeah.
cigar.
It is. Delicious.
So-
Great.
Similar Vitola, we're actually going to do. I got some Anahados Partagas for us, 2015s that are Grand Coronas from our friend in California. And he sent those to us, so we're going to do those on the pod coming up.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he's amazing. But I'm very excited because we've had some hit or miss experiences with the Anahados. Obviously, we love the Upman Anahados that we have from 2011.
So great.
I mean, one of the best cigars that I've ever had.
Well, there's only 3, right?
What the?
I mean, how
there's-
No,
more
there's
than
more.
that.
There's a
There's
Romeo
definitely more.
Churchill.
Yeah, we don't like the Romeo.
No, there's quite a few. There's quite a few.
This is nuts. I'm smoking I'm smelling the smoke. It's just so good. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really good. So we've gotten a lot of new listener emails. So for new listeners out there, welcome. So glad to have you with us. One I wanted to highlight was from a guy named Jason. And he said, new listener, hey y'all, listener, I'm a listener, found your podcast recently. Love your most recent episode. Immediately had to email you guys. I'm a professional humidor maker in Milwaukee. And he's just getting into cigars. So he's been making humidors, I guess, for like 6 years. Just getting into cigars now. Found the
Wow.
podcast.
Very cool.
Very cool. Guys, you should see, I'll pass my phone around. You should see some of the humidors this guy is making.
He could make your double wide tower. that you desperately need now.
I do. By the way, Rooster sold his tower.
Did he?
Didn't tell any of us. Just came.
What?
Sold the tower today.
It's actually gone.
Wh-
I didn't
out of his
think-
house.
Where's your?
I leave for a couple
Yeah,
months.
this is what
and
happens
you
when you
sell your
leave.
tower.
The earth is shattering.
Yeah.
Where
What?
are your cigars?
They're sitting on a desk right now.
How many boxes?
84.
84 boxes. I love it.
Hold on. Why did you sell your tower?
Because I'm getting the triple wide.
Is it really?
He's getting another one.
Getting the Vigilant.
These
Yeah.
guys are nuts.
Is this the same style as the other one, or is this cedar?
What do you mean? Inside?
Like the
Outside?
fridge style inside?
It's still
or
a
cedar?
Remington
It's not a
line.
Remington. It's
Oh.
made by Vigilante.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying, is it all cedar, or is it cedar with like refrigerator material inside? Like
No.
the-
No, I'm going to get it same as Giz,
so all cedar.
all cedar.
All cedar.
Ah,
Without the humidification.
Look at how
they've
everyone has come
graduated,
around.
haven't they?
We have.
Because we realized that where I keep mine, the humidity in that room is like always between 62 to 65, RH.
Nice.
So right now the boxes are just sitting there and it's perfect.
I'm
I
sure.
have like govies sitting on top of. So this guy who bought it, I didn't think he was gonna like take it like right away, but he's traveling. He's gone for like almost like a month and a half, and he wanted it right away. So he called me when I was in Massachusetts. He's like, "Listen, can I send my guys to pick up the tower like tomorrow?" I said, "I'm not even back yet." So I'm like, "I'm gonna be back like Tuesday night, so you can send the guys over on Wednesday."
He lives in Boston.
No, he lives in Cranberry by Princeton.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So these two guys show up in a U-Haul. One guy's like covered with like paint. So I'm like, "What do you do?" He's like, "I'm a painter." And like, "What does the other guy do?" He's like, "He's a plumber." So they came with drop cloths
Oh,
as
gosh.
a protective.
Not packing blankets?
No,
Oh.
drop cloths. They had 3 drop cloths.
Oh God,
And I'm like, "Joe, can you give him some like comforters or something?" He's like,
comforters.
a comforter.
Take the comforters. Take the comforter off our bed.
so she's like, "No, fuck that." They should have brought what they needed. I'm not giving them my stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
Oh my gosh.
So they literally had it. So I took like pictures before. I'm like, "All right, this guy's buying it."
Mm.
If something happens, like, I'm like, I'm not liable
Well,
for
it's on
this.
him.
These guys are coming with like drop cloths, and these guys are not professional movers.
Did you take a video or photo
I
while they were
did.
doing it?
I took
Smart.
I took photos like all 3 sides. I
Great,
said,
great.
"This is how it's going to your house. I hope it gets there safe." And I actually helped them out, and it was raining.
Oh
right?
boy.
It had just stopped raining. There was a little window for like 15, 20 minutes. But luckily they got it to his house safe. He sent me a picture. He's very happy with it. So,
That's awesome.
and yeah, now I don't have a tower. So
You will soon. You will soon.
These are beautiful.
So I sent you
one?
guys
Did he just
the
send you a
photos
picture?
of a listener, Jason,
Oh.
who's a lizard. His website, I'm going to shout him out because the stuff is beautiful.
he makes these?
jmlmodern.com. jmlmodern.com. He makes these by hand in Milwaukee.
Beautiful work.
Amazing. So he makes, there's travel humidors for like 3 cigars.
Look at that little beauty.
I mean, amazing,
That's
right?
beautiful.
Very, very nice
impressive.
stuff.
Very, very cool.
So he has a bunch of great stuff on his site, different furniture pieces and stuff. I think like if you have a watch collection, he makes boxes for that.
There you go.
So amazing stuff. So thanks for emailing us, Jason. We love hearing from listeners. I have such a list of cigars that we're going to try because of listeners. So
great.
we love hearing from listeners what you're smoking, what you want us to try. So definitely reach out to us. We appreciate hearing from you.
So sorry, just to close the loop on the rooster. The rooster
He's
humidor.
focused.
I'm
The rooster.
Still, I can't believe this. So when are you getting the new humidor?
no idea.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy,
Apparently.
is
It's
this
gonna
on?
be a
Is this
while.
on BAM time?
I think it is.
It's going to be a while.
Is it lost on a shipping container?
Well, no, they
It's-
make it. They make it
12
in
12
Massachusetts. I
weeks.
think it's 12 to 15 weeks.
I see.
Ah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's going to be a while.
Well, BAM can rent you humidor space
Yeah,
because Lord
you
knows
got
he's
it.
got an empty humidor right now.
It's
Well,
$100.
he's still seasoning it. So.
Yes, it is. It'll be $100 a shelf. It's all yours.
A month or a week or what?
That's per week.
Okay.
You're fucking kidding me, right?
And Gizmo, you're also getting a new humidor.
Yeah, but I'm being a little bit more reasonable about my timeline, so I don't have to have my boxes sit around my basement. So I'm gonna, once I have like a solid firm date of when it's coming, then I'm gonna order. I'm gonna formally order it.
This is what he's getting.
I'm
because
getting
it
the
has
glass doors.
He's getting with the glass. I'm gonna get it without the glass, but it comes in like 6 or 7 different finishes. What's nice is the room between the shelves,
Mm-hmm.
so you can stack.
You can really stack
It's
boxes.
wider
That's
than
good.
the Remingtons.
That's good.
It's
Yeah.
flat.
Nice.
So
That's a golden oak. Is that the finish you've
No.
selected?
No,
it's
I'm doing espresso.
Espresso. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Mine's
so I'm gonna.
look like kind of like this, just like an Armour.
Yeah.
Just don't want anybody.
No
to
one
see
will
it,
know.
See inside. You know.
He's gonna lock it. Nobody can see.
Yeah. Your
Well-
girls are stealing all your cigars at home.
All the girls' boyfriends.
That's right.
We have to get in touch with them. We can get some stuff on the
I
side.
need some
True.
swag. I need some
Yeah.
rooster swag.
Yeah. Dip into the connoisseur corner, shelf number 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it happened so fast. I wasn't anticipating this.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, we were talking about like kind of try to move it together.
Yeah, buy together and
Buy
move it together.
Imploded.
Typical rooster, though.
It just happened. I mean, you know,
You move too
wasn't planning
fast.
on it.
Just happened.
So, what are you guys thinking about this cigar and pairing? I'm in heaven right now.
Very
guys.
happy.
I'm very satisfied. I wish I had a whole box of these.
Yeah.
I really love the smoke output.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, we've talked about some of the larger ring gauge smokes like the QD54 or the Partagas C2. You know, I always associate a larger ring gauge with a lot of smoke output. But for this, at this ring gauge, I honestly think this puts as much smoke out as a QD54 does.
I'm surprised that our online fellow cigar mates are complaining or negatively commenting on this.
Yeah,
It doesn't
saw
add up.
some. I
It
saw
doesn't
some,
compute.
I saw some folks saying that it doesn't age well. That when they first got it, it smoked better than after time. Like I've seen quite a few comments on it, so I was surprised.
Well, I just want to point out one review. So it's funny. I was reading on Half Wheel when this came out, and Half Wheel midway through the review says that it feels spongy. And I'm sitting there reading that like, how is that the cigar's fault? Obviously, you're not fucking storing the
Exactly
cigars at the
right.
correct
I
humidity.
read that article too. So I think they smoked 3 cigars, and they said it had some spongy spots, but one of them had like a very soft spot right above the band.
Yeah, so that tells me that they didn't. It,
I
it
think
didn't
it's the
acclimate long
humidity
enough.
that they didn't let it come down to the
Yeah.
proper.
Yeah, that's typical,
humidity.
right?
That needs to sit.
But I feel like a lot of them, honestly, look, we've talked about this. If you look at Half Wheel,
They hate Cubans.
they
sorry.
hate Cubans. But the funny thing is, you know, I thought it was intentional because let's face it, right? There's no marketing dollars for them to make by
Yeah, they're not selling
propping up
ads to
Cubans.
Habanos. Yeah.
Exactly. But the funny thing is they post photos as they're smoking the cigars. And if you look at the photos of the Cuban cigars they review, they are burning so horribly, a lot of them. And it is so clear that they don't store them at a low enough RH. They're storing Cubans at the same humidity, it would seem, as they are New Worlds at a higher.
They might just be
humidity level.
getting them and smoking them. They're
Yeah.
not-
That
And-
too.
But if you're gonna,
That's it.
and hence the negative review.
This
if you're-
cigar did get an 89 on Half Wheel.
Okay.
if you're gonna put yourself out as a cigar expert, right? Don't you think that your humidity situation should factor in to?
You should know better.
You should know better, and you should educate your customer.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
educate the people that are coming to your site.
Don't
Like-
send them the media kit.
Like we don't sit here and pretend to be experts, but I mean, come on. Like that is such a basic thing. Like
Agreed.
we're not going to sit here and call out crazy flavor notes that these guys call out. Some of them are like, Psalm level, like Senator over here, calling out crazy notes. I can't call out crazy notes like that. I'm never going to be able to do that. But that's fine and dandy. But if you're smoking a cigar and you're rating a cigar as a professional and expert on the internet, how can you not have the humidity right?
They've got to store their cigars
Like it's so
properly.
simple. Like even let's say let's say they get them fresh, right? These have been in my humidor, I don't know, 3-4 weeks at 62. I knew we were going to smoke this on the pod, and 36 hours ago, I put them in with a 58 Boveda. just to make sure.
You took them out of
I took them out of my 62 and I
general population.
isolated them
Right.
in a dry box at 58 RH just to make sure that there was no
To bring them down.
potential that we're going to sit here and smoke a cigar that's too wet.
It feels like a 59.5 though.
Connoisseur commenting again.
There he is.
By the way, they have that like tool that you can stick
Yeah.
in cigars that's supposed to tell you the
Yeah.
humidity. Have any of you guys used that?
I have one.
Does it work? Have
Chef
you used
Ricky
it?
gave me one.
That's right. Have
You know
used
what?
it?
So what's interesting, I have used it.
Is it accurate? I'm really curious.
Well, what's interesting about it, I don't want to say if it's accurate or not, because I think it is, but what's wild is obviously you have a certain humidity in your tower, and wherever the cigar is sitting, how long it's been in there, it's going to vary. So sometimes I'll pull like a Padron out and it'll read like 64, 66, which is right around. Sometimes I'll pull a Cuban out and depending on where it is, it'll read 59, it'll read 63. So I'm finding like, I think it's accurate. And what I've found, and maybe the number's not right, but it correlates to how well the cigar smokes when I do put it in. I just put it in the foot and measure it. It does correlate to how well it smokes from a burn
Do you ever
standpoint.
stick it on like both hands to see if there's a difference?
I have. I've actually stuck it in the head after I've cut it.
And
The head is definitely more humid usually than the foot.
because it's kind of contained.
Yeah, I guess the open end is just I think that's what aging is doing as well, right? The longer it's in there, it's going to take time to work itself down the cigar, the acclimation and the oils and everything else. So I don't know the science behind it, but my experience is that when I plug it into the head of the cigar, it's more humid than the foot.
Does that device need to be calibrated in any
It does.
way?
It has its own calibration tool,
I see.
which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool tool to have.
I forget what it's called, but I'll put it in the episode description.
I love the cloud effect.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke in here for four of us.
It
There's
is.
a lot of smoke in here tonight.
It's a plush experience right now.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I must say it's one of the better limitadas.
it is, and I never would have picked this up if it weren't for us doing this and
Right.
just getting these. So I'm really glad.
The only reason I got it, quite honestly, the only reason I got a $5 is because it said Senadores, and I was like, "Oh, Senators coming back. Well, this would be cool to
That's
do."
perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. Like
Right.
I would have never picked this up.
I'm deadly serious. After this, any cigar that's ever made that says Senator on it, I'm buying it. I mean, we're 2 for 2. Like, how can I not? Like, the track record is so strong. I don't know why, but it works.
Yeah, I heard the Plasencia is coming out.
Oh, that may be an exception.
I heard Rocky's putting one out.
I'm filing a lawsuit to block that from happening.
So I'm going to try the Glenlivet neat now because we tried it with a little ice before.
Mm.
Before we rate it, I kind of want to try it just as it is.
Can't help.
I can't help.
Actually, I think I like it better without ice.
Wow.
Wow.
Just because I think I like single malts that have a little bit more of
No bite.
it has a little, just a touch more bite. I like a little bit more bite in my
Yeah,
single malts. Like
that's
you were
fine.
saying about the Balvenie Doublewood, certainly has a little bit more bite even
On
with
the
ice.
front, yes.
Just a little bit.
Mhm.
Like,
But
not
that's
a
the
bad
funny
bite.
thing. I mean, it's remarkable that you're saying that. Most 12-year single malts need a little water, a little ice,
That's right.
because they can have a somewhat aggressive bite.
Yeah.
The fact that you're having this neat, you're saying it just has a little bit more bite, and this was incredibly smooth with ice. I think speaks to how smooth that is. That's why I think at that price point, it's
It's
really
awesome.
hard to beat.
It is.
And you can find it anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think is playing into how I'm feeling about it neat is that obviously I've had a finger of scotch with some ice, but now having smoked almost to the end of the cigar here, I think it's kind of playing a little bit better of where this cigar is now,
Agreed.
in the last third.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been great.
It's not getting harsh at all toward the end.
Curious what the rating's going to be.
Oh, I know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I get like a faint hint of cinnamon.
Yes, that's
yeah.
when I said baking spice. So at first I got
Right?
nutmeg, and now I get cinnamon.
The
I'm right
cinnamon's
on your
accurate.
page.
It's accurate.
A little bit, like
Mhm.
faint.
Yeah.
Smoke is just, man.
And the retro hail.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm a happy camper right now, man. This is great.
Retro hail at this point is still very good.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong performer tonight.
Oh yeah.
What do these come in the box? What's the
25.
count?
So it's a
25.
it's a 25 count, really nice
Wow.
box.
That's great. I mean, the Ramon Limitada, it's a 10 count box.
Semi boy or sliding?
It's a fancier, I would say, semi boy, or I don't know if it's varnished. I think it's closer to like a semi boy, but it's a little bit nicer. Like,
Nice.
we've talked about the Limitada, the Partagas Limitada, come in a classic cardboard 10 count. And I'm like, what do you put in a
Yeah,
Limitada?
that I don't get. I mean, the
what
fact
am I
that a
doing?
standard letter series comes in at least like a nice enough box,
It's
why
true.
you'd put a
Or
cardboard
put it in an
box for a
SLB or
Limitada.
something. Put it in a
Right.
sliding lid box.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how hard is that? Or, a varnished box like the Sir Winston or an 898. I mean, a Limitada should demand
A step up.
a step up in
Yep.
packaging, I think, in
Yep.
presentation. But I guess we don't work at Habanos SA. So you guys ready to do a formal liquor rating on the Glenlivet 12?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, boys, let's do it. Bam, bam, you're up.
8.
Exact same. 8.
I'm right there with you. Don't need to do the math, boys.
Nope.
8.0, I think that's a perfect score for that.
Good recommend.
It's easy. The price point's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
It's
this is not a single malt that I would recommend anybody have with a very full cigar. That's not what this is made for. It's a lighter single malt, but it has just enough flavor that it holds up extremely well with anything mild, and also well enough with anything medium bodied, like I think we're saying this cigar is.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the quality's unquestionable.
And I think for our purposes tonight, I'm happy that it kind of played like this because, to your point, the cigar's doing more of the talking than the single malt scotch.
Oh yeah.
Which is obviously what we want here. But I think anytime I have this cigar, it's so smooth, it's so delicious and interesting that I want it to be a little bit more of the story than the scotch.
And I think we want to pursue that more often than not, right?
Yeah.
Let the cigar do the talking.
Yeah. And I think we've gotten lucky with a lot of the pairings.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys, we're coming to the end here of the Quai d'Orsay Senadores. Any final thoughts before we rate this thing?
Very satisfying, I must say. I mean, out of all the limitadas that I've had, I mean, definitely haven't had all of them, but quite a few that I've had, this is up there.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't disappoint.
No, not at all.
For me, the thing that really just stands out and is going to be reflected in my rating, this was consistently great all the way through.
That's right.
There was not a single point during this smoke that I felt it fell flat or went dead. All the way through, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And piggybacking on the consistency, the flavor notes continued all the way through. And you would get a hint of barnyard, it would go away. A hint of cinnamon, it would go away. That is a mark of a complex cigar.
And I think kind of combining everything you guys have said, I think when I think about Pagoda and Puba and Grinder, their palates, which, Puba, I would say Puba and Grinder are a little bit more mild medium. Pagoda obviously loves a full cigar.
He'd like this.
And we're kind of in the middle, I would say, the four of us. But I think this is a cigar that everybody with any kind of palate, I think would be very satisfied, and nothing's going to kick you around here. It's going to satisfy the guys who like a full cigar.
Yeah.
It's going to satisfy the guys who like a mild cigar. I think it kind of checks all the boxes.
I completely agree, which is why I think for the holidays, as I was saying before, this is a perfect smoke. Again, for people that you really, care to enjoy a fine cigar with, there's something for everybody in this
Just
stick.
your dad.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And my father-in-law.
I do think Senator Senior would like this cigar. a lot.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has really been good. All right, boys, you ready to do the formal lizard rating on this thing?
Yep.
Rooster, you're up.
9.
9. Senator.
This is a tough one for me.
It is for me too, I know.
No, I'm actually kidding. This is very easy. It's definitely a 9.
See, it's tough for me in a very good way.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh. It's absolutely a 9.
Yeah. I'm right there with you guys. I was bordering on 10.
Yeah.
I was bordering on 10 because
came
it's
to
that
mind.
good, but it's closer to a 9 for sure for me. So a 9.0, boys.
Excellent, excellent recommend.
Yeah.
It is.
Very strong recommend.
Wow.
It is.
For $34, if you can get it
Yeah.
under 40, I would encourage any listener out there, if you can get this for under 40, get a 5 or get a 3, wherever you can get them. Just don't buy fake ones. Find a retailer you trust.
Yep.
Email us if you have questions about sourcing. We're glad to help. We always answer our emails. We're always glad to help you find stuff, but I would definitely recommend this cigar.
Checks every box.
Yeah. I think this has done a great job.
Now you're a bit further than me. You caught up and actually exceeded my. How are you experiencing? What's that like right now?
It's fantastic.
No
It's
harshness, right?
No harsh.
Not a single hard edge.
And, for 2.5 years, for a cigar that kind of has this, I don't want to say oomph because it's not strong, but it has a lot going on. It's complex.
Yeah.
Rooster said the aroma coming off the cigar, like I would not have been surprised if we got to this last third and we were like, oh, there's a little bit of tar, ammonia, something like that. There's none of that.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I've kind of caught up. I've been pulling on a little more.
Yeah.
Because I've just been enjoying it. So to answer your question, start to finish, A+, very satisfying.
Outstanding.
Yeah. I don't want this to end, boys, but we are here now. An 8.0 for the Glenlivet 12 boys and a 9.0, flat 9 for the Quai Senadores Limitada from 2019. Great night, Senator. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice job making these cigars. I know.
Welcome back.
I know you had a strong hand and.
I'm a jack of all trades. What can I say?
All right, boys. Great. We'll see you next week. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for joining us. You can find our merch store and ratings archive at our brand new website, loungelizardspod.com. That's loungelizardspod.com. Don't forget to leave us a rating and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. If you have any comments, questions, if you want to reach out, say hello, tell us what you're smoking, email us, hello@loungelizardspod.com. You can also find us on Instagram @loungelizardspod. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.